I'd show you a little bit around our current garden. There's not much happening here at the minute, apart from this is Autumn eating her bone. This is what she has every 2 or 3 days. She'll have a beef bone. Now, although I'm striving to be fully vegan, apart from honey, so I'm a vegan, I don't agree with enforcing our own will onto our companion animals, our dogs and our cats, because it's not biologically appropriate to enforce that sort of regime on an animal that is biologically not a vegan. We've looked inside the mouths of the different animal species that exist on this earth, and we know that we're frugivores because that's how we're designed. We have the same teeth structure as an ape and the same digestive system, roughly, to digest all the fibre-rich fruits and some vegetables, mostly fruits though. But our dogs are not the same. You only have to look at their face to know that they're not vegans or frugivores or herbivores. They are more omnivorous, so they can eat a wider variety of foods than we do and digest and thrive on them. Predominantly though, they need a meat source for their well-being. Now, just to sort of say that on my Facebook page you can see pictures of Autumn 5 months ago, roughly 5 months ago, when she came to live with us from rescue. And Autumn is pretty much 100% raw dog, fed an appropriate diet for her species, which is the canine. And she has big teethies, even for such a small little doggy. And she has sharp pointy teethies, which we don't have, for grinding up and tearing through flesh and grinding up bones. And her digestive system is far stronger than ours for doing so, for digesting that rich meat protein. And when she first came to us, she didn't have this hair, she didn't have this coat, she was in very, very poor, sorry state. And she was very skinny, and her coat was dull and wiry, and we didn't expect the beautiful dog that she's turned into. Now, she's a Pomeranian predominantly, but bigger. We're not sure exactly what she's crossed with. Maybe Sheltie, maybe some form of Spitz, we're not really sure, but she's about twice the size of a normal Pom would be. But she has a Pomeranian coat, and it's just glorious. I've just been brushing her for the last half hour in the sunshine. And now I've thought, well, it's time for her to have her afternoon food, which is a bone, and it has a little bit of meat on it, but it's predominantly just the bone, which is containing all the minerals and the goodness that they need. She also has a lot of vegetables in her diet and fruit, and she'll actually go and graze in the garden of the green vegetables and pick the kale and the cabbage and what have you herself. But I use the pulp from my juicing in her other meat diets, meals, and that's what she eats. She's not supplemented at all with anything else. She gets what she needs from this food that she's fed on a daily basis. I'm just going to sort of pan over. This is Mr. Tumnus that you can probably just see there, sunbathing. He's had a brush as well today because he's molting like crazy. He's one of our 2 pussycats, and they're also fed a biologically appropriate diet. They are cats, and they're not herbivores, they're not omnivores, they're not frugivores, they are carnivores, and they need meat. And I'm really not happy with people that feed their carnivorous pets a vegan diet, because I do think it's cruel, and I might get slated for saying that, but you know what? I'm doing the best for my animals. I don't supplement my cats' food either. They're fed predominantly chicken. They don't eat fish because of all the pollution. They catch a lot of their own food and eat it. So they're happy pussycats as well, and I'd rather them eat naturally like that than be fed vegan commercial food that is supplemented with all sorts of stuff that we don't know about. And it is not natural for them to eat a cereal-based diet or a grain-based diet. It's just wrong, and they're not built for that. They don't thrive on it. You might think they do, but what's actually happening is, even if one generation of your cats thrives on that, or is appearing to thrive on that, you're building in genetic weaknesses. Okay, and this has been shown in scientific studies like the Schrödinger cat study. Okay, and look it up if you're not sure about that, Schrödinger's cats. And the genetic weaknesses that are being bred into our pets now, causing cancers and diabetes and goodness knows what other illnesses, behavioural illnesses, genetic defects, etc., etc. It shouldn't really happen. I mean, they're doing their best to adapt, but my goodness, they're having a hard job, just like we are. You know, we're building ourselves genetic weaknesses for the last sort of 40, 50, 60, 70 years, you know, and that's why we're all sick and tired now, because we're getting weaker and weaker as each generation comes up. But that's my thoughts on feeding our pets an appropriate diet, and just pan around and show you a bit more of the ground that we've got. We are moving, so this isn't going to be our garden. I'm looking forward so much with excitement to show you our next place where we're going to be living at the end of this month. Thanks for listening anyway, and do the best for your animals if you have any. Okay, feed them appropriately and don't put your will onto them. They didn't ask for that. I love you. Thank you. Bye.